Hello, everyone. I am Katarina Flodström, Chief Operating Officer at Episurf. I have a background in research within materials chemistry, and I have a long history at Episurf. I'm managing our engineering team with the engineers covering both our daily production work and our R&D activities. And I have a great interest in our technical details and the regulatory work. So today I will focus on our novel devices, the products we are currently working on, and the processes to get those onto the market. So I will start with the patellofemoral system. You have heard quite a lot about it already today. So it's the extension of the Episealer Knee portfolio, where we are now adding an additional implant. So we have an implant system with 2 implants, metal implant on the femoral side of the knee joint and a polymeric implant opposing. And this is then indicated for patients with wear on both sides of the patellofemoral joint, so osteoarthritis. And we have then identified this possibility to go the so-called 510K route for the US market. And I will go more into those details in a while. The technical details we have here, it's the same as for our knee technology with these 3 fundamentals. We have our imaging technology, MRI-based, and we do the 3D modeling and the design based on our proprietary software. After that, we do the individualized design of surgical instruments to assist at the surgery so that we get a perfect surgical result. And then, of course, we have the implants. The individualized, truly individualized, and this is the first ever product with 2 truly individualized implants for resurfacing of the patellofemoral joint. So we have great hopes that this will be successful because there are so many synergies with our existing knee products, and we have all the know-how after 10 years of development of the patient-specific implants and instruments. Also, the clinical data that you have heard about today is highly relevant also for this system. But there are also some additional features. So we have the broader indications here with the opposing components. So it's a 2-component system, and we also have the possibility with that to focus more on getting a stable joint. So with 2 implants, you have the possibility to remodel the joint if needed, if the patient has a need for better stability. And the 510K word has been mentioned a few times, and that means that there is already a device on the market that we can use as a predicate device and show that we are similar to. And that means also that the concept that we now have here with a cobalt chromium implant that is articulating towards a polyethylene implant, that is something that is already available on the market, so the materials are well proven. So we think that this will be a great complement to our Episealer Knee implants the day they are approved for the US market as well. Here we have some details on the regulatory pathways for FDA approval and how to reach the US market, basically. I will not go into the details, but you can see here basically that you have a pathway depending on the risk class. So the FDA makes an assessment of the risk class of your device, and if you are considered as a high risk class, then you need to go the so-called PMA route. That is what we are doing with our Episealer Knee implants, and you need solid clinical data from a clinical study when you do your PMA submission. But for the patellofemoral system, we can do the 510K route, and that means that we can show equivalence to an already clear device and hopefully have a smoother way to the market. Here are some more details on this 510K route. So this is really what we have spent our time on the last year. So the 510(k) submission for this device is done, and we have got feedback from the FDA, and we've been working with the FDA to set up then a strategy to close any questions that they have. And for the patellofemoral system, we are now in the final stage of this 510(k) process. And meanwhile, we are working with the FDA to get this product clear. We are, of course, also in parallel working on our internal production processes, and we are setting everything up so that we are prepared for a market launch. So while this product is now in the final stage, we have another product that is in the beginning of its 510(k) journey, and that is our toe implant that we refer to as the Episealer MTP. So this has already also been mentioned today, but here you get some more details on where we are in this project. So for this implant, we have not done our 510(k) submission yet. We have done a pre-submission. That means that we have started our interaction with the FDA to have hopefully a very smooth 510(k) process once we file the 510(k). And our plan is to do that during the first half of next year. And this MTP implant is then the big toe implant. It's a metal implant for the metatarsal head of the big toe. And it is intended to treat osteoarthritis, also referred to as hallux rigidus. And when you have that, you have a stiff toe, so you have very bad range of motion, and you also have a lot of pain. And we truly think that our personalized implant will be perfect to treat this pathology. So it will be a truly individualized MTP implant, and we will initially then go for the US market with this, but we have had very interesting discussions and good feedback with foot surgeons that are involved in the development of this device, and we do hope that we can bring this implant to other markets as well in the future. And then we have kind of a recipe how we do this individualized design, because the different devices that we develop and produce, they have this personalized feature in common. So our recipe is that you take our know-how. We have then more than 10 years experience of how we set up processes to manage the design and the production of these devices. Then, of course, you need good software. So we have developed a proprietary software that we use for this AI-based automatic segmentation of the medical images to get our 3D models. And that's really the basis for our design. And in this software, we also do damage assessment and the 3D modeling and the visualizations. And in addition to this software, we also have other software solutions on how to make efficient design. So our R&D team is not only developing the devices, implants and instruments, but we also have a great focus on software. Of course, you need a supply chain that can manage on-demand production with reasonable lead times. And you need the regulatory approvals that we have touched upon already. I just want to stress there that what we're doing with the regulatory processes is really we are creating this new segment. So the authorities are not really used to the discussions regarding individualized design. So this is very exciting, the progress we're doing there. And of course, you need IP so that you can really handle your competitors and have a competitive product. And this is something Episurf has really prioritized, and we are proud over our patent portfolio. On the regulatory side, I will touch upon then also this PMA process that we will need to take with our Episealer Knee implants. So this is again for the US market, where we want our Episealer Knee implants approved one day. And to go the PMA route, you need to have a clinical study, which is very robust, randomized control study. And as Pål mentioned earlier, we have our challenges as this study was started right under the pandemic. But it is ongoing and it is very exciting. It's highly prioritized in our daily work. We finally start to see some activity, especially in the US. This is a US-European collaboration. But it's also now great that I have a colleague in the US who can help them with a close interaction with our US investigators. So I will conclude with just stressing again that we have 3 very exciting projects ongoing with a focus on getting devices onto initially then the US market. And I'm very happy to see how our technology is getting adapted for additional joints as well as for additional markets. Thank you very much.